All right, this week you're going to be solving equations. With variables on both sides of the equal sign. All right, and if you'll follow these steps, hopefully you won't forget anything. All right, step number one in each of these problems is going to be distributive property. Elijah, can you move to the left just a little bit, please? Thank you. Now, in parentheses over here, put if needed, because you may not need to do the distributive property, but it's going to be the first thing that you need to check on each problem. After the distributive property, you are going to combine like terms. And to the right of that, put if needed as well. And when I do some example problems, you'll see what the if needed means. Okay, third step. Move variables. To one side of the equal sign. All right, you're going to have variables on both sides of the equal sign. You're going to have regular numbers on both sides of the equal sign. After you move the variables to one side of the equal sign, then you need to move the regular numbers regular numbers, the numbers that don't have a variable in front of them. And then your last step will be to solve by inverse operation. Does everybody have that written down? So I'm going to give you about 5 examples today. So here's example number 1. Six x plus 6 is equal to 4x minus 4. Alright, in this case, there's no distributive property to do. Alright, that's what I was talking about, if needed. So you can go to your second step, which is to combine like terms. And again, there's nothing to combine on either side of the equation. So the third step is to get all the variables on one side. What you want to do when you're solving these equations is you want to move the variable that's the smallest. In this case, the 4x is smaller than the 6x. So you want to subtract 4x from each side. These 4x's will cancel out, and 6x minus 4x is 2x. The rest of the problem just gets rewritten. So now you've got your variables on one side of the equal sign. The next step is to get your regular numbers on the other side of the equal sign. So in this case, you would subtract 6 from each side. And the 6's will cancel out. So 2x is equal to negative 4 minus 6 is negative 10. And the last step was to solve by inverse operation. So the variable is being multiplied by 2, so you're going to divide both sides by 2. The 2's will cancel, and x is equal to negative 5. Yeah, example 2. 36 minus 5t. And that equals regular t. 1t. There's no distributive property here, and there's no combining like terms. So you're going to move the variables to one side of the equal sign. And in this case, you got a negative 5t and a 1t. The smaller variable is the negative 5t. So you're going to add 5t to each side. These 5t's cancel out. The 36 comes straight down. And it's equal to t plus 5t is 6t. The variable is being multiplied by 6, so you can divide both sides by 6. The 6's cancel. 36 divided by 6 is 6 is equal to t. Example 3, 7 times negative 4x plus 9 is equal to negative 5 times negative 5x minus 2. Alright, so this is a case where you've got distributive property in the first step on both sides of the equation. So you apply it to the left side. 7 times negative 4x is negative 28x. And 7 times 9 is positive 63. On the right hand side, negative 5 times negative 5x is 25x. And negative 5 times negative 2 is positive 10. Next step is to combine like terms if needed. There's no like terms that you can combine. So you're going to move the variables to one side of the equal sign now, and you're going to move the smallest variable. So you're going to move this negative 28x, which means you're going to add 28x to each side. The two 28x's will cancel out. So 63 is equal to 25 plus 28. So 53x plus 10. Now you can get all the regular numbers on one side of the equal sign, so you would subtract 10 from each side. So 63 minus 10 is 53, and that's equal to 53x. Solve by inverse, so you can divide each side by 53. These 53's cancel, and 53 divided by 53 is 1 is equal to x. And your last example, 3p plus 10 is equal to just a negative sign outside the parentheses and then 8p plus 9. And also on this right hand side you've got a plus 7 plus 7p. Alright, so the first thing you have to do here is the distributive property. You have to distribute this negative sign. So on the left side, the 3p plus 10 stays the same. This negative sign outside the parentheses means to change the sign or multiply everything in the parentheses by negative 1. So this is negative 8p minus 9. And then plus 7 plus 7p. In this case, you've got to combine like terms. The left-hand side stays the same. You're going to combine a negative 8p and a 7p. And negative 8 plus 7 is just negative 1p. And then you've got to combine a negative 9 and a 7. And negative 9 plus 7 is positive 2. Now you're going to move the variables to one side of the equal sign, so you're going to add p to each side. So 3p plus p is 4p plus 10. The p's cancel out, and the 2 comes straight down. Subtract 10 from each side. The 10's will cancel out, and 4p is equal to 2 minus 10 is negative 8, and then you can divide both sides by 4. The 4's will cancel out, and p is equal to negative 2. Those are the 4 types of problems you're going to be doing today.